Welcome to Running Plays with Coach P. Wade. I am Coach P. Wade. And y'all, happy Halloween. I don't know when you're watching this, but I know this week is Halloween. And I'm not really big on Halloween, actually. It's not my favorite holiday. I really don't celebrate it. But it is exciting just to see like the kids get excited about it. People buying candy. And just, people dressing up and all that, right? But I actually normally don't celebrate it, but this year I did go out. I'm here in the Atlanta area, and I'll just throw this out there. I went out to Stone Mountain, and they had like a Halloween spooktacular. A lot of great things for the family, even for adults. I mean, it's cool if you like seeing light shows and different things like that. For me, I'm a fan of pumpkins. I don't know what that's about, but I like taking pictures with pumpkins. They make me smile. So if you're in the Atlanta area, check that out at Stone Mountain. I would say that's pretty cool. But y'all, you see I'm dressed in the Halloween colors. I just felt festive and wanted to be in the colors tonight. But I'm intentional about why I'm dressed like this and why I am talking about Halloween. I know this is a motivational podcast, but what I want to talk about tonight, and we're going to tie Halloween into it. When you think about Halloween, right, you dress up in a costume, you put on a mask, you're giving out candy, you're expecting somebody to say thank you, right, after you trick or treat, all this stuff. And for me, I just started thinking about it like, it's not that too far off from what we do in real life. Like, think about, and I talk about this before, but think about the mask we wear. Like, on an everyday basis, like, Halloween's one night. You dress up, you get in this costume, and it's like a one-night thing, right? Once a year. But in real life, a lot of us are going through life wearing a mask, wearing a costume. And when I say that, I'm saying it metaphorically, like we're putting on mask of happiness, or we're doing it to fit into certain situations, or to appear more confident than we really are. But inside, we're like very insecure in different things. But we put on these masks daily in these different situations. And I just want to kind of explore that as thinking of Halloween and the costumes and all that. And on the other side, I wanted to think about, and this is something I'm working on for myself, is how when, trick or treat, right? You give out candy, you expect thank you. How we expect gratitude from others for things we do or for things we give. And like how that's a trap, like an expectation trap. And I'm learning that as I get older and as I continue to get disappointed by people in my life, whether it's at work or whether it's personal. So those are the two things I want to tap into tonight, is why we wear these masks and how we can show up as our authentic self, which is challenging. I get that, but it's not impossible to do. And I want anyone watching this, because I've had a lot of people that have been watching my content lately. They talk about how they're wearing a mask and, showing up that way frequently. And I want to help you out to where maybe you can finally remove the mask. I want to start off by going into a funny story of a time where I literally put on a costume to fit into something. So I'm going to take y'all back to 2010, and it was my first corporate job interview. So I want to go work for this company. The owners are white. It's a Fortune 500 company. The dress is business casual, or business professional, my bad. So business professional, I'm masculine presenting. I have short hair at the time. I'd already cut my hair off. I'm like, what the heck am I going to wear to this interview? So I decided, and I'm not proud of this story, y'all. I'm not proud. That's why I'm telling it, so I can help somebody else out on being your authentic self. I go into this interview, and I can't make this up, and I don't have a picture. I'm sorry, because I know everybody's going to want a picture. I have my sister dress me up with a wig, with a blouse, and a pencil skirt. And I go into this interview this way because my mind at the time, and I mean, like I said, it's 2010. I'm like, if I really wanted this job, I'm like, if I go in as who I am, how I appear, I'm not going to get this job. And I'm like, how bad do you want it? So I was like, you know what? Let me dress the part. Let me play the role. I go in, I walk different, I talk different, I appear different, and I get the job. And I think 2 weeks later, I start the job, and it's on a Monday, and the same guy that interviewed me, he's like, whoa, you look totally different. And it was kind of an embarrassing moment because I did look totally different. I didn't have a wig on. I had my short hair. I'm dressed in men's clothes, business professional though. I got the slacks, the button up, the tie, all that stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, that was me. And he was curious. We actually became, cool as one of my bosses. And I just explained to him the thoughts going through my head at that time and why I didn't think I would be accepted. And I think that's what a lot of people go through today in some instances. And it could be not being accepted of being unhappy. It could be not being accepted of just showing up as who you are. There's so many situations where we choose to put on that mask and put on that costume. Mine was pretty far-fetched. I mean, I hope no one in 2024 is going out their way for an interview, showing up like not yourself. And if you feel like you got to do that, for me at this point that I'm in life, that wouldn't be a culture or a place that I would want to have to try to fit into. I don't think any place, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a career, whatever it is, you should have to try to fit in. I always say, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. And not saying that company was even going to have that. That's another thing. Sometimes we create scenarios in our head. Like we create fictional stories in our head and we play them out so much that we start to believe them. I don't know if I'm hitting anybody with that. I can't be the only one where you play out these fictional stories in your head so many times that they start to feel realistic to you. And you have to, take a step back. Sometimes I have to be like, yo, you're creating some of these things. Calm down. I'm not perfect. Those are things that I'm working through. But why do we wear the mask? Why do we feel like we can't show up and be unhappy? Why can't we show up and have an emotion? Like we can't be upset. We can't be angry. We can't be disappointed. Why at all times can we only have this one emotion of happiness? And we got to unpack that. And I mean, it may be that other people don't give us the space to. I know sometimes my partner, my wife, she says that to me, like, you only want me to have this one emotion of happiness. And I'm like, maybe, sometimes I have to work on that. Like, maybe I do expect happiness, rainbow, sunshine all the time. And then when she has a different emotion, I'm like, hey, what's wrong? You okay? But because that's not the norm. But maybe we have to get to places and spaces in life where we start to normalize someone feeling a way and having the space and comfort to be able to discuss what they're feeling. Even in the workplace, like, I can't wait for the day, and there are some places and there are some leaders where you can go in and say, hey, I'm not feeling it today. And I think that should be normal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to, I seen somebody say the other day, like, we shouldn't just have to take days off because we're sick. That shouldn't just be the only day. We can just take days off because we feel good and we just want to have a day off of work where we actually feel good. I mean, it's just kind of those type of things. Like, I think it could play out in the other way at work. Like, we shouldn't just have to show up to work one way of happiness. Yes, I get into professional settings, but at times you're still a human being and there's still life going on. Like, you may have had a loss. You may have had something going on that's causing your mental to not be as stable at that time. So first of all, if you're watching this, I want you to check in with yourself and just think, like, do I wear a mask? And then also ask yourself, in what situations am I wearing a mask and why? Because that's going to give you a lot of good data and a lot of good intel on yourself and also the people you're around or the situations you're around, if it's a workplace, right? Another place where we wear masks often, where a lot of people are wearing a mask, is on social media. Like, people are just showing up as, I guess, what they want everybody to think of them, right? They're showing up not as their authentic self. It's so inauthentic, unauthentic, I don't know the word, but like, it's not real. And so many people get online and compare themselves to what people are doing online, and they're not even showing up as their real selves. They are in a mask, hitting play, but dying behind the scenes. Like, they're cool on camera, but dying behind the scenes. Like, that's real talk, y'all. So don't get so caught up when you're watching other people and you're comparing and their goals. Don't make those people goals. Don't make anybody that you're watching on social media goals. Like, yeah, they can inspire you. Yeah, they can motivate you, but maybe they shouldn't be goals unless you may have had a conversation with them or you've seen super authentic and vulnerable sides of them. Like, they keep it real with you. Like, there's some people out there that keep it real with you. They're going to let you know when they're not having the best time in life. They having low seasons. They've been through depression, all these different things. I'm one of those people. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Like, I talk about depression. I talk about my divorce. I'm not just talking about my highs in life. There are some people out there like that, but there are a lot that's just going to show you those highlight reels. They're going to put on the mask every single day and they're smiling on camera, but they're dying behind the scenes. And that's one thing. I think social media amplifies the costumes and the mask we put on. But I think it's time for us to remove them. It's time for us to get to a place where we show up as our authentic selves. One reason, and I know I had that situation at that job, but one reason I have been so comfortable, been able to be so comfortable in who I am and, being a masculine presenting woman in corporate America, just walking in America in general, I had to go through a lot of situations that allow me to build tough skin. I became resilient through situations that happened. So I haven't been like always just my authentic self. I didn't just wake up like that. I had to go through situations and then I had to build and grow and choose. I have to be intentional. Like I'm going to show up as me. If they don't like me, that's on them. They gonna miss out on a good heart. They gonna miss out on a good person. Like I'm going to be me. I'm going to show up as my authentic self in whichever room I show up in. And I got many sides to me. Like you gonna see me with the cap on. You might see me in a button up. You might see me in a hoodie. I like to dress up when I go to work, but I have many different sides. But if someone chooses to not give me a chance because of maybe the cover they see and they don't like that, and I'm being my authentic self, cool. We don't belong in the same storyline. Like, it's cool. And I think we have to be okay with that kind of stuff. And another thing, what I want you all to get from this is to try sometime in the near future, if you are wearing a mask, if you are one of those people showing up not as your authentic self, try to remove the mask. Try to become vulnerable. And see what happens with, maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your relationship. And for a lot of people, it's in your relationship, but maybe remove that mask. Let the people around you know what you're really experiencing. I think that's the only way we can really go through this life and enjoy all the different emotions of the human experience. My niece, even though she's way younger than me, 15 years younger than me, she told me at one time, like, stop trying not to be hurt. Stop trying not to cry. Like, you're supposed to have those emotions. It's part of the human experience. And I'm like, wow, because I was, at that time I was on prescription medication because I was going through a low point in my life and I was choosing to take medication, and nothing's against medication. But she was trying to tell me it's okay to have those emotions. You don't have to show up smiley every day. You don't have to show up all upbeat and bubbly. Like, it's okay. And she was urging me to go through the human experience and feel all those emotions. And that's what I want to tell you all tonight. Like, I want you to really test yourself and remove that mask. And see what happens. See what happens when you tell your partner that you've been feeling away for a while. See what happens when you tell your boss. You may coach up and let them know, hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like this. Like, see what happens when you show up like real. And there may be, sometimes I always say, sometimes when we keep it real, sometimes when we show up as our authentic self, you may lose some people in your life. Some people may have to be subtracted. Some people may go away on their own. That's okay. Like, that's part of the plan. That's just part of the story, right? Everybody's not meant to be in our lives forever. It's an unfortunate truth, but it's the reality, right? Everybody's not meant to be here with every single season. They may have came in for a reason, season, or lifetime. That's a real thing right there. I don't know who said that. I can't give the quote to them, but some people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and we just sometimes have to be okay with that. Like, it hurts like hell, yeah. But that's just not part of how your story's supposed to go. And I think being okay with that, getting to the point of being okay with that, I mean, that's a major thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is the thing I'm struggling with, and but I'm just going to talk about it. Like, I can't say I'm perfect on every single thing, is the treat part of trick or treat Halloween. When we give out these treats, we expect these kids, I'm going to use Halloween again, to say thank you. And that's the same thing in life. And this is my part, because I fall into the expectation trap, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you do as well, where we do so much We give people our time. We give them our energy. We give them our love, our care, our support. And we're waiting on the gratitude. And it never comes. And then we end up disappointed. And like, because they're like, think about Halloween. There's going to be some kids that don't say thank you. And, I guess in that scenario, we like cool. Or some people may be like these ungrateful kids. But in life, when you give people, whether it's work, whether it's family, whether it's friends, your time, your energy, your love, your support, and they are ungrateful, they have no gratitude, they don't say thank you. And maybe in those moments, they don't know how. But as the person giving it, and I know sometimes, like I said, I fall into this, we become disappointed because we're like, it reminds me of that scene on The Temptations where David Ruffin was like, "You ungrateful son of a bitch," right? Because he's been soft. If you know, like David Ruffin was pissed. And that's how I get that feeling that he had. But I'm working on that to not expect the gratitude. I have to get to the point of understanding that they may not give the gratitude. I have to self-validate. I have to just say, hey, did you feel good about what you did? God feel good about what you did? You just got to probably go to sleep on that. Like you just got to, like, if you did it, don't do it expecting the thank you. But that's hard for me, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Like I told this story the other day of when I open the doors for people now, they don't say thank you. And that grinds my gears. And I just say you're welcome because that's just what I be feeling. And maybe I like I said, I have to work on this because I have the expectation that the person receiving my generosity should say thank you. But in reality, I have to let go of that expectation. If you're the person like this, you have to let go of that expectation. Now, maybe depending on the situation, though, if it's just a partner, if it's a relationship that's building and brewing, if, it's kids, maybe you got to teach the kid, right? Not saying you just, okay, they didn't say it, so I just got to self-validate. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like if it's a kid, you teach them. If it's the person that you're involved with in a type of relationship, friendship, romantic, you may have to express, hey, I'm feeling like, whatever you feeling like, I feel like the gratitude is there, whatever. But in some situations, you might just have to just call it, just let it be what it is. And that's something I'm working on. And, hey, y'all might be able to drop some thoughts in here, but I wanted to talk about it. Like, even though I haven't got to the other side of it, I just still wanted to talk about it because, I think it's something that a lot of people experience. And it's important for us to talk about these things. Like, how do we get to that side where we don't expect? I have this affirmation where I say I release control in all things so I can have peace. And that's one. I know it's kind of like, how does this, is you controlling? I have a control mindset. So when I have a control mindset, I want people to react in a certain way. I want to control their reaction. But if I release, I don't expect, then I can be at peace. And I'm at this stage in life where I want peace. I have a lot of peace. Like the most peace I've had in these 37 years. But in these moments, I have to release it. And I want you, if you're watching this and you kind of get into this situation, being able to release it. And y'all, that's all I wanted to talk about. I just kind of wanted to tie in Halloween and talk about how we wear these masks, we wear these costumes. And I think it's time to show up as the real you. Show up as your authentic self, whatever that looks like. I dare you to show up as your authentic self. I ain't gonna say tomorrow, I ain't gonna push you like that, but I dare you to start working towards a goal of showing up as your authentic self, removing the mask, and whatever you feel, go through the human experience and feel it. And let other people around you know what you're feeling and let them be okay with that. They're gonna have to be okay with that. Because if you keep all of this inside and wear this mask all the time, you're going to eventually blow up. It's going to be like a volcano erosion. Like it's going to be like exploding. Like nobody wants that, right? Because you're suppressing. You're suppressing and not expressing. If you suppress and don't express, like that's not good. We all have to get it out. And you want to get it out to the people that you're comfortable with, that you're with every day. Like I say, your family, your friends, your partner, your coworkers, your boss, all those people. I dare you to make a goal to show up as your authentic self. I know we got these goals of money. I know we got these goals of losing weight. I know we got these goals of getting the promotion. We got these goals of, next year I'm going to be this. How about you make the goal of showing up as your authentic self and removing the mask? And that's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's going to take steps. I get it. But I dare you. I dare you. And I'm going to end it with that. I'm going to end it on a dare. I dare you to show up as your authentic self. Like, remove it and let people just get who you are. And it's going to feel good. It's going to feel like a weight came off of you, right? You're going to feel a high. Trust me. Let them see your authentic self. Y'all, when I tell you these days, I show up as my authentic self and it feels good. Have I lost people? Yes. Am I okay with that? Yes. I pray about it. I cried about it. I felt the pain from it. And I healed from it and I moved forward. But I'm going to be me authentically. I'm going where I'm celebrated and not tolerated, period. So we going to end with that, y'all. Y'all, I didn't say it at the beginning, but follow me. If you're not following me on all my social platforms, on TikTok, at Coach P. Wade, on Instagram, at Coach P. Wade. And you can also now hit me up. You can go to my website, CoachPWade.com. I just launched it. You also can connect with me there. So that's all I got, y'all. I got a big announcement coming soon. I'm not sure when you're watching this. You may have already heard it, but coming soon, y'all. And that's all I got, y'all. See you next time.